It's tough when you're trying your hardest to kick a bad habit, but keep slipping back into the same old routine. And when that one habit starts messing up all the good stuff in your life, it's easy to feel like you're the only person on the planet who can't get it right. It's the worst situation ever to happen, but you need to delete those habits permanently, and I'm here to help you do that. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll walk away a changed man, ready to take on the world. Number 10. Reject the replay of regret. Firstly, you have to delete those memories which push you to regret. You must have found yourself replaying those could've, would've, should've moments in your head like a bad movie. It's time to clear the cache, to refresh everything. Whether it's thinking about that time you didn't speak up in a meeting, or when you didn't play with your kids because you were too busy scrolling through your phone, let's change the script. Because regret is a thief of joy and the enemy of action. Instead, you need to make a pact to live in the now, to be present at the dinner table, fully engaged in the story your kid is excited to tell you. You need to be present in the now and focusing completely on the task you're working on. This is the first thing. You need to come out of that what-if mindset. Number 9. Silence the static of stubbornness. Think about the last time you refused to ask for directions when you clearly needed them. Stubbornness is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but gets you nowhere. Many believe they must shoulder everything alone without needing others' support or guidance. Whatever your job is, if you're too proud to ask for help on a project or refuse to learn a new way to do things, you need to flip things around. Open up to your parents and ask for their advice. Try out that new app your friend suggests, or take a different route to work. Embrace change, and you'll find yourself discovering better and faster ways to reach your destination. Remember, it's not always necessary to follow everything someone advises, but it's necessary to listen to everyone and then do whatever you feel is good for you. But never be stubborn and think that only the thing you think is final for you. Number 8. Quit the approval chase. Think about it. How often do you find yourself refreshing your social media feeds for likes and comments? It's easy to get caught up in this cycle of seeking external validation, but remember, it kills your inner motivation. You start depending on others' opinions, and if you won't get those up to your expectations, you'll feel insecure and anxious. You need to understand that your self-worth isn't measured by social media metrics. You should focus on what truly matters, your real-life achievements and relationships. Start by setting aside specific times to check your social media, gradually reducing your dependency on these digital validations. Number 7. Stop the self-doubt symphony. When you are free from the external validation trap and start focusing on your inner motivation, there comes self-doubt. We all have that inner voice that sometimes tells us we're not good enough. It's natural, but if left unchecked, it can become a crippling source of self-doubt. You need to acknowledge this voice so that it doesn't dominate your thoughts. Every time you catch yourself thinking negatively, counter it with a positive affirmation or a recent achievement. It can be anything from completing your last task on time or breaking the cycle of any bad habit recently. It's like tuning your radio to a more positive frequency. You may not be a rock star, but you certainly can adopt the mindset of one, confident, assured, and ready to take on the world. Number 6. Ditch the drama of procrastination. Ever caught yourself saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," but you should face it that tomorrow becomes a mythical land where 99% of human productivity, motivation, and achievement is stored. It's the neverland that never comes. You need to break this cycle by setting small, achievable goals. Instead of viewing tasks as large, insurmountable challenges, break them down into smaller steps. This approach makes starting less daunting and helps maintain momentum. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You don't need to be the captain of a ship in a grand adventure. Instead, be the master of your daily routine, taking one step at a time towards your goals. Number 5. Eliminate the echo of excuses. We've all been there, hiding behind a wall of excuses. It's easy to say, "I'm not ready yet," or "I don't have the right resources." But let's face it, these are often just smokescreens for deeper issues like fear of failure or lack of confidence. To really make a change, you need to first recognize when you're making excuses. Be honest with yourself. Are these reasons legitimate, or are they a comfort zone in disguise? Once you identify the real reasons behind your hesitations, confront them head on. The key here is not to eliminate excuses entirely. That's nearly impossible. Instead, focus on transforming them into motivators. Each time you catch yourself making an excuse, flip it around. Turn "I don't have time" into "let's reorganize my schedule." Number 4. Abandon the ship of comfort zone. Comfort zones are cozy and snug, but nothing ever grows there, except maybe your Netflix watch list. Like many at 25, you might be settling into a routine that feels comfortable but doesn't challenge you. Consider this: true growth and learning happen when you step into new experiences, however intimidating they may seem. You don't have to leap into the unknown all at once. Start small, try a new hobby, learn a new skill, or even change your daily routine. Each small step outside your comfort zone is a step towards a more fulfilling life. It's about embracing the uncertainty and finding your potential. Number 3. Cut off the comfort food of complacency. Think about the times you've settled for good enough. It's like snacking on junk food, momentarily satisfying, but ultimately unfulfilling. Imagine if you approached your life with the mindset of a chef striving for excellence. You wouldn't settle for a mediocre dish. You'd experiment and improve until it's just right. Apply this philosophy to your life. Challenge yourself to do better in your job, your relationships, and your personal goals. Raising your own standards can transform the good enough into something truly great. Remember, you are the chef of your destiny, and every choice you make is an ingredient in the recipe of your life. Number 2. Shred the safety net of negative self-talk. Negative self-talk can be a major obstacle. It's like a persistent voice in your head, constantly undermining your confidence. But remember, you are in control of your thoughts. Every time you catch yourself being self-critical, pause and challenge that thought. Replace it with something positive about yourself or a recent achievement. It's not about being a pilot ignoring a passenger's doubts. It's about recognizing that you are the only one steering your life. Affirm your abilities and your worth. You're capable of achieving great things, but it starts with believing in yourself. Remember, you're the captain of your own sky, and it's time to fly high, not hide in the hangar. A wise man once said, "The bad news is time flies, but the good news is that you're the pilot." Number 1. Erase the illusion of someday. How often have you told yourself, "Someday, I'll do it"? Whether it's starting a business, writing a book, or pursuing a dream, someday often remains an elusive concept. The truth is, someday is not a day of the week. It's about making the decision to start now, however small that start may be. Think of it as a series of small steps rather than a sprint. Each step you take today brings you closer to the goal you've set for someday. Begin by setting tangible, achievable goals for yourself. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Start walking that path today and watch as your somedays transform into your reality. Now, here is a quick takeaway. So, now the horizon is clear. You've got the map, the compass, and the determination to sail towards a life of strength, purpose, and action. Will you take the challenge and transform not just for a day, but for a lifetime? As we conclude, Resist the urge to fall back into mindless scrolling. Instead, create a plan that works, or watch this video to help you forge your path to your ultimate goal.